Gimbals are really expensive. They're great and often necessary, nevertheless, really expensive. So, what do you do when you have the vision of a Spielberg and the budget of a 13th century feudal peasant? Well, after rubbing every lamp in your house in the fruitless hopes of summoning a genie until finally letting the last of your childlike innocence dissipate as you realize there really is no magic in this world, you give up and say, fine, I'll listen to this random guy on the internet. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm this random guy on the internet. Now let's take a look at a Steadicam. It's what a production uses when the camera is too big or a gimbal is just too impractical. This looks really fancy, doesn't it? And you're right, this one absolutely is. But it doesn't have to be. The basic idea of a Steadicam is really simple. This is a camera, and it's on a stick. On the bottom of said stick is a weight of some kind. In this case it's a battery, but it could be anything, just so long as it's heavy. So to recap, camera, stick, weight, and the rest of it doesn't matter. Now, we're gonna build our own crappy version of this, so follow along. Or don't! What am I gonna do about it? So what you'll need is, 1, a monopod, which will cost you about $20, and that's easily the most expensive part of this. But that's a lot better than $300, plus it's just really good to own a monopod because they are insanely useful. Also, tape, your camera, obviously, and something, anything, heavy. As long as it weighs at least as much as the camera, it should work. Open up the monopod so the bottom leg is out, that way you can expand it if need be. Then tape your weight to the bottom of the monopod leg. Make sure it's securely fastened so it won't come off while you're filming. Once that's done, attach your camera to the top of the monopod like you normally would. Then you're done. This was not a complicated tutorial. Let's take it out for a field test. To test the stability, here are 3 versions of the same shot with the same lens. The first with the camera mounted on our makeshift Steadicam, another with the camera just handheld, and one with the camera mounted on a DJI Ronin-s, the kind of gimbal that we're trying to replicate with this. And here are our results. The Ronin-s is of course quite smooth, as you would hopefully expect from a piece of equipment like this. The handheld is very, very shaky, and the footage is pretty useless unless you're going out of your way to make a found footage film. And the makeshift gimbal? Well, it's not great. But it's certainly better than nothing. You could try throwing a warp stabilizer on, which does a good job at steadying the shot, but in my example it'll give you this weird vibrating effect that you probably won't want in your video. It's definitely not perfect. Far from it, but importantly, it's cheap, and it's a lot better than this. It's also worth noting that I am walking backwards to get this shot, which definitely isn't helping my stability. The shots that this setup excels at aren't walking shots like this. They're usually stable panning shots, or even just still shots like this. So, what's the moral of the story? I don't know. This stick with cans of beans taped to it will never be a perfect replacement for a $300 piece of film equipment, because of course it won't be. But with that said, it is faster to set up, easier to use, and infinitely cheaper than any actual gimbal. So if you're starting out, or you're just on a really tight budget, then maybe give the bean stick a try. It's better than nothing. Bean stick! Definitively better than nothing!
Disclaimer, Beanstick may not actually be better than nothing. Beanstick may cause sudden headaches, back pain, irritability, and the inexplicable desire for human flesh. Take caution when using Beanstick, as a disgruntled film crew can and will use Beanstick as a weapon against your well-being. Consult with your cinematographer to find out if Beanstick is right for you.
Can I move now? Am I allowed to move? Is somebody gonna cut the